You're listening to Studio 22. Welcome to Studio 22.
All right.
Yeah. Here with Will Meldman and the one and only, the legendary Todd Garner.
I thought you were going to flip those and say the legendary Will Meldman.
Usually that's how it goes, but it's on you today.
Yeah.
No,
But yeah.
we are super excited to have you on today.
Oh, thank you, brother.
Extremely grateful.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Ready to dive in.
Yeah, Todd's got, you've overseen, developed, produced, executive produced over 170 films.
Something like that.
Yeah. Co-head of Disney as well.
Was, yeah.
Yeah, you were. Yeah. Dude, how do you find the time, man?
Just age.
Yeah.
Just get old enough. Just
you
keep doing it. Eventually you can get it all in.
Oh
That's
my
awesome.
God. I mean, I was telling Brock, like, we've known each other for a long time. And even with all the preparation and research I was doing for this episode, there's no way I can even cover half of what you've done.
I think I met you when you were like 12.
Yeah. It
That's
was
nuts.
maybe 13 decades.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
We were talking about how wild it might be if for you to see, even Will coming into production, and following that path and following the passions, man. It's like you've probably seen.
Oh, I've seen a lot of kids come through. Yeah. No, I mean, look, it's access is always good. I mean, you can't. There's no. You have to have talent, but having access to people that you can talk to, and it's always helpful. People say it's not. It's like who that's not really true, but it certainly doesn't hurt.
Absolutely. And then like the access followed with extreme hard work, determination, and passion for the work, right? Because it's like if you're faking something or not doing it for the right reasons, you're just going to tank quick.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that go into it, right? Yeah, so definitely hard work and talent, like I said, but also you just don't fuck people over because it's a long business. I mean, career. I've been doing it for over 30 years. And so you just have to be honest and have the fortitude and the strength just to tell people the truth. Because if you try to bullshit people, it might work once or twice, but eventually people are going to be like, that guy's full of shit.
Right.
Yep.
So yeah, so just being a forthright person and working hard, man, that's a lot of it.
Yeah, I think in the land of bullshitters too, it's the people who've been around long enough you can see right through it immediately, right?
Yeah.
When I first came in here, I was so naive to LA, and I remember the first person I met was this girl. She's an actress, and she found out I was personal training at the time. I came to LA for acting, but I didn't have anything at the time. She treated me like total crap, and because I wasn't an actor, and then lo and behold, 20 minutes later, I hear her talking to some other actor outside and talking about how she was a background in a Nickelodeon thing. And I'm like, you just treated me like shit and you do background? Like, damn.
Yeah.
All right.
I guess there is like a certain group of people that think that's going to work. And then there's no more maligned profession. I mean, it probably is, but like one of the most maligned professions is being a producer. Because like most people can just say they're a producer, like you can just bullshit, And so, there's so many assholes out there that say, "Oh, I'm a movie producer." Yeah, But now with back when I was younger, it was tougher because you could just say it and you can have a fucking business card made up. Yeah. But now with Google, it's harder. It's a little tougher to bullshit your way through.
IMDb.
Yeah, it's a little tougher to bullshit your way
Yeah.
through like it used to be. But yeah, I mean, it's tough because it's such an amorphous job, And so a lot of people feel like if they just fake it till you make it. I don't necessarily think that's true.
You don't really make it very far if you do that. Oh. You might have a couple conversations, but it's not really going to go very far.
Right.
So when did you get started then,
So I started off in high school, basically. I thought I was going to be an actor. And then I thought, well, maybe I'll be a stand-up comedian. And then it was just, no, it's just hard. It's fucking hard. And then, went through theater and started like producing and directing plays, and we did like this sketch shows, and I was writing those and working on those, and I was loving that. So when I went to college, I went to Occidental College. I thought, I want to be a producer, but Occidental doesn't really have a film program. It's a tiny little liberal arts college. So I got an internship working in industrials, and I became an editor. That's really was my first gig in the business, was editing. So I was an editor for about 4 years, and then I just realized, like, man, I'm not getting any closer to what I wanted to do. So I have a degree in economics and a degree in film. So I thought I would go to Stanford Business School, which I probably should have fucking done in hindsight, but I ended up not going. I went to work at Wells Fargo Bank, worked there for a couple years, became a loan officer there just in prep to go to Stanford Business School. And then right as I was coming out of that program and getting ready to go, I got a job at Paramount in television, and I was Arsenio Hall's accountant, basically. I worked on that show in Paramount Domestic Television. So I got on the lot, and then I found out there's this job called a creative executive. I'm like, that sounds exactly like what I want to do. I want to be executive and I want to be creative. So that sounds like a good job. And then I didn't know anything about how to do that. I've never read a script. And back in the day, it wasn't like you could just go online and get a script. You had to go to like Samuel French and get a script. But I could read a script, but I didn't really understand it. So I took a class at UCLA Extension on story development and learned how to read scripts. And then I became an assistant at Columbia Pictures, and I was there. And then they said, well, there's a job at Disney opening up. So I became a creative executive at Disney. And then I was there for 10 years till I became co-president of production at that place.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of work, a lot of weird tangents too to get there, but it worked out.
Did you find that theatrical experience out? Like, or was that too early on to really have an impact?
Yeah, no. I mean, editing experience definitely has helped every day of my job.
Sure,
I can't recommend it enough for people to learn how to edit. It's so important. And so I would say that experience really helped. You know, and then just understanding story and reading a ton helps. But mostly it was the editing experience that really was good during that period.
Especially now with like CGI and stuff too, like learning all that software.
Well, and it's also accessible. I mean, when I was in film school, you know, you had to rent a 16 millimeter camera. Like there was no. Now you can make a movie on your phone. Yeah, so it's crazy. Like there's no excuse for people not to learn now.
Yeah.
Yeah. My first work or movie was with Tyler Perry, which was awesome, man, because that guy's a workhorse and a half. But one of the things I learned from him is the reason he's able to work so quick and do the things he does and really understanding, which helped me not only as an actor but wanting to move into producing, directing, and everything too. He knew how to do everyone's job.
Yeah.
So knowing the editing changes the way you shoot. Directing, knowing every aspect of it really just helps the sum of the whole, man. So it's really the more you know, I think, the better off you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, just understanding the craft is always worth doing.
The other part of that too is I was reading Napoleon Hill, Laws of Success, and it's Henry Ford's in a courtroom and he's like being indicted over something, and the lawyer thinks he's all slick and he's on the stand and he's like, do you know how to fix this super detailed part? And he's like, no, but someone on my team does.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
but I mean, look, the bottom line is in this world, there's no reason to not know everything. I mean, not know as much as you can. You can access anything. And so if you want to be an actor, then learn it, really study it. There's no excuse not to go back and watch every good piece of acting. It's just so easy. It used to be, even when I was at Disney, I would take 2 weeks in December and I don't really ski or anything, even though I don't love it. So I would just take 2 weeks and go down to like Vidiot's and rent all the Howard Hawks movies, all the Preston Sturges movies, and just so go through and just go in order and say, oh, I can see how this movie led to that movie. And oh, wait, he's going back to that movie again. And sort of you can really just develop your sense of story and a sense of like how like the classics were made. Now you can get it on your phone. That was like because I had access and I was at Disney, I could do that. But now it's so easy. There's no excuse not to do it.
So what you're saying is me and Will have at least 170 films to watch.
At least.
From start to finish.
Yeah, I mean, and also what's interesting, I think what's really beneficial if you want to just, obviously watching everything is good, but to really learn is to just pick a filmmaker you like Howard Hawks or King Vito or Preston Sturges or Scorsese or fucking Paul Thomas Anderson, it doesn't matter. And start at the beginning and just watch how, that movie led to this other movie. Oh, I can see the progression of this guy, his talent and how he developed, and oh, he had more money here, so he did this, or had more days, and oh, he's using that actor again. It's really just interesting to see how people's careers develop too, not just to watch movies for the sake of watching movies.
I did that with my favorite director, Alfred Hitchcock. So I took a course at SC about him, and then after college, me and Justin, one of my other buddies, went through the entire like DVD collection, and I think it's super important, like you're saying, to like watch for patterns in development, and like especially with someone you like, because if you're gonna watch that much content, it's got to be someone you like.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hitchcock's amazing. It surprises me how The Birds is like one of his most popular films. It's like one of my least favorites, but I don't know.
Yeah, and just to see like, and then just to, the other good thing is to read about Hollywood history too, because it'll just make you feel better. Because everybody always says like, oh, this is the only time ever this has ever happened. And you realize it's bullshit. It's just patterns. So every time a new piece of technology is developed is the death of the movie business. So, it's like when sound, first of all, when Technicolor was like, that's over. No one's ever going to watch that. It's too real. It's too weird. Then sound, no chance. And then television was definitely the death of the movie business. And it's just like every new piece of technology not only doesn't kill the movie business, it weirdly just morphs it into something stronger.
Yeah, makes it bigger. Even streaming, everything 3D. Like look at what Avatar did, right? So
but I mean, even streaming, like everybody's like, well, no one's going to go to the theaters anymore. In fact, they're saying it today. And it's just not true. It's just that you're giving the consumer the way they want to watch it. You're not forcing them. The movie business was kind of the last weird censorship, because you could only see a movie in a theater and then you had to wait. And it used to be in 6 months, then you had to wait 3 months. Now it's, whatever, 20 days or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Or sometimes.
But that's bullshit. You should just be able to watch it whenever you want. I mean, it's such a weird thing. It's like we're propping up these movie theaters for what? I mean, they don't give a fuck about you. They want to make money. So it's like, when you have a movie like Spider-Man or a movie that people want to go see, it crushes. And if they don't want to see it in the theater, then give them the opportunity to watch it somewhere else. None of this shit makes sense to me.
Yeah, I think Spider-Man is just such a good example of, if you make a film like that, people are going to go see it.
Sure.
And that there's something, that natural, innate kind of communal experience of going to a movie theater is just, we've been gathering around campfires for thousands of years as human beings. Like there's something about it that I don't think will ever go away.
Yeah,
I love that perspective though, that like new developments, because of course, like sound, it's like no one's going to.
By the way, it was all through VHS was going to kill the business. Then DVDs for sure, because all the pirating, and you could just get a DVD and make 1,000 copies. Nobody did.
Yeah.
So it's like, yes, is there pirating? Yes, there always will be. But the fact is, if you give the consumer the way that they want to consume it, A, they'll show up, and B, you'll monetize it. You'll figure it out. It's so we're such creatures of habit as human beings. We're always backwards looking, and we're all wringing our hands like, oh, the glory days. Fuck that. Back in the day, you had 13 channels, right?
Yeah.
6 of which were local.
Yep.
And then you had maybe 112, 150 movies being made a year. Now there's hundreds and hundreds of channels, and there's hundreds and hundreds of movies being made.
Yep.
So how is that not better? Yes. Can you like bust out like you used to with one movie? Maybe not. But there's a lot more shit getting made. You were on 2 fucking HBO shows in one night. Like that would have never happened if it was like NBC, ABC, CBS, and Fox.
Right.
You very unlikely you're going to be on 2 shows in one night. So it's like those opportunities are giving more and more voices chances to be great.
Totally agree.
Yeah. So that's probably like you think that's one of the biggest changes that's happened in the last like 20 years in filmmaking is
streaming?
Yeah.
Well, no, I think there's a lot of them. I mean, the last 20 years has been bananas. The last 20 years you had VHS and DVD. So like that was a huge breakthrough because that allowed people to, control what they watched. You had everybody, we all had those fucking racks, right? So like you could pull out a DVD and watch it whenever you wanted. You didn't have to go, let's see what's on, Fox today, or you have like TiVo and you're like, oh, shit, I taped a show. You could watch it sort of when you wanted if you bought it. And so that was the first kind of big light bulb moment for the consumer. Like, wait a minute, I can go to Blockbuster and get a movie and watch whatever the hell I want. And then, so that was the first part of it. And then just with the onslaught of cable, it was a huge, huge game changer because there's like, it just changed the course of what television looked like, because otherwise you had everything kind of looked the same. It was a sitcom or a procedural or a soap opera or, like a CW kind of youth show, like 90210, whatever. But like when you got HBO and then you started Stars, then you had like Cinemax and all these things, you're like, whoa, there's some fucked up shit going on. Like HBO's killing motherfuckers, and there's like naked people, like, whoa, holy shit. And all of television that had to adjust. And then with all these different channels, then it was so much more, you could really kind of watch what you wanted when you wanted, because you're like, oh, there's so much to watch. And of course, then all of the hand-wringing, like 50-year-olds are like, oh, it's the death of television. There's too much content. No one's going to be able to watch that much content. It's all the same bullshit. And then streaming comes along and says, well, how about this? Binge it. And people are like, I have 8 hours. That's true. Let me do it. And so then, now, it used to always be like, Judd Apatow movies are so long. So Scorsese movies are so long. Now people are like, that shit wasn't long enough, man. I wanted more character development. I'm used to watching stuff in 16-hour chunks. Well, how can you only make a movie that's 90 minutes? So it's like it's changing viewing habits. So like all those things are kind of leading to one thing, and it's all being led to a consumer-driven marketplace where we have finally, as consumers, been like, wait a minute, how's this work? This would literally be like if I said to you, you can only watch the Super Bowl if you go. And then 2 days later, you can watch it on TV. No, it doesn't even make any sense. So the fact that we as a movie business went like, oh, that seems reasonable. 4 months? Yeah. If you don't have a theater near you, or you don't have help, or you don't have a babysitter, or you're handicapped, or whatever the fuck, no, you can't watch it. Sorry, no, because our partners in the movie business, in theater business, say no.
Right.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
The point of them being made is to be watched, right?
Of course. And so we all in the movie business look, well, how's it going to work? I mean, you got to have your first run theatrical, and then you got to sell it to cable, and then you got to sell it to free, and then you got to do home video, and that's the way it's always been. Like, no, or figure it the fuck out, and it will figure itself out.
Or get it to as many people as you can the day it opens, right?
Well, that's like Netflix's thing, and then subscriptions became a thing, and nobody even knew that could be a thing. It was like the assumption was going to be that you just like Blockbuster, you just pay for play, right? You just rent it for $2.99, whatever. That was the assumption. And then Netflix came along and said, or, pay us this much a month, and then we'll get enough people watching it that it'll cover our nut.
Right.
And then everybody started doing that. I thought, like 15 years ago or 12 years ago, I thought it would just be like a big Blockbuster on your TV, and you just watch whatever, and you just didn't matter where the payment went. It was like $2.99, all right? So that's kind of like an Apple TV. Yeah. But Netflix figured it out. And so now everybody's doing subscription. And so, everything becomes a subscriber draw.
I mean, literally everyone. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it takes one huge innovator, and then everybody else just falls in line until the next huge innovator comes along. And so,
do you think that whole metaverse or anything in that space is going to change the film industry in any way? I don't really know how it'd be applicable right now, but I'm sure, because I've tried those Oculus, and then they have theaters in there that you can like join in with your other buddy. But I feel like
it's not the same.
Yeah.
And by the way, you can Zoom with. I mean, it's like now I think with post-pandemic, people are like wanting to get together in real life. I think probably the metaverse was a good idea during the pandemic where we're stuck in our houses, but now everybody's like, you may stay home and put a fucking goggle on, and then I don't know. I mean, like, who am I? Like, I'm that guy. I'm like Clint Eastwood on the get off my lawn. The metaverse is not going to work. I don't fucking know. I mean, it just seems like that kind of thing is more of like a gamer experiential thing that people are going to do,
like a niche sector.
No. Gaming's not niche. I mean, gaming is huge, and people do that, right? They go and play a video game. They put their shit on. They get in their chairs. They fucking do it with their buddies with headsets, and it's very deliberate. It's not like that crosses over to, well, I got to go to the store, and then you just keep your gaming headset and then get in your virtual car and drive.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know that I think it's more deliberate than just like people cruising around the metaverse. Like, hey, Will, good to see you. Like I tried to do, I have an Oculus and I tried to do that virtual Burning Man. It was insane.
Was it cool?
No. It's so weird. It was just weird. And like the guy I was with was bumping into people he knew. And I'm like, who the fuck is that? It's just a fucking guy avatar. Like, oh, that's Jim. I'm like, how the fuck did you know that? He goes, oh, I've seen his avatar. I'm like, I don't fucking know this guy. And he goes, I know you. You're that guy. Your fucking avatar is weird.
Oh my
so it's
God.
like, I don't know. It's like, I feel
can't
like,
do that,
I don't know. I feel like that's not where super create. I mean, look, there's people that are building obviously this metaverse and they want it to, but I think guys like that are filmmakers and stuff are just making good content. Yeah. And it maybe is another distribution avenue, but it doesn't seem like it's going to work right now for that.
Interesting. Yeah. I'm kind of curious with your, you said you were trying to be a stand-up comedian.
I didn't try. No.
Oh, you didn't try?
I thought about it.
Okay.
And then I thought, well, that might be fun. And then I realized it was really hard and then like deathly hard and you have to really do it. And that has to be your life.
I feel like, I've heard stories and then I've also thought about it. I'm like, I am not that guy. Man, give me some lines and I'll do that. I'll say whatever the hell you want.
I mean, it's really intense.
Yeah. I know you learn a lot from the failures, I think, for sure. But you've had a incredible streak with comedies that you've made. Has that been difficult or interesting to kind of navigate that waters to figure out what works and what doesn't? Or is it like you kind of know the formula?
No, there's no formula. I mean, I really like to make people laugh. And so I think it's so important. There's a movie called Sullivan's Travels, Preston Sturges movie. And basically it's this, the movie's about this comedic director who doesn't get any respect and he wants to make his like opus that he's going to win the Academy Award for. And ironically, the movie's called Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, which is a movie I made at Disney. Wow. So when they told me that, well, the guys, it was obviously a nod to that movie. They told me they wanted to make that movie. I'm like, oh, it's from it's from Sullivan's Travels. Like, you're the first person who's got that. And then they told me like, oh, it's a white trash Homer's Odyssey starring George Clooney. I go, I'm in. Let's go make it. And so we made that movie. But he wants to make his opus called Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? And the studio doesn't want him to do it. They just want him to make comedies. It's like, but he's feeling very disrespected. So he goes on this journey to kind of find himself and figure out like the pain of the common man, et cetera. And he ends up in jail and on a chain gang. And then they get taken to a Three Stooges, like in a church. And he just looks around and for a moment, all these prisoners are laughing. And he realizes that what he does is important. So I've always just loved to sit in a theater and hear a bunch of people laugh. So I'm very attracted to that, trying to put good into the world rather than like pain, and because we have enough of that, I think. Yeah. And I've seen it firsthand in my own life of like moments where comedies have helped. And so I'm just very attracted to that and trying to make people happy. And I like funny people. I like comedians. I like hanging with them. So that's why I've done a lot of those.
Yeah, it's definitely getting a good laughing with somebody. Like that's being on set with Adam.
Divine.
Divine. Yeah, it's he just sits there and he's funny. You know what I mean? Like they don't have to try. And then Danny McBride too. It'd be out of nowhere. And I would say even Danny too. He was probably like the most entertained by making that show than anybody else on set. And he's just sitting there laughing at every single thing that's happened and genuinely enjoying it. You know,
I love it. I mean, I'm such a huge fan of Danny and all the Rough House guys, and I'm just that. Like God love them, but I couldn't get through Euphoria. Like after I saw your cock, I was like, I'm out.
Hey man, I told none of my buddies to watch it. I'll tell you.
I was like, no, but it's tough. I'm just saying, I have a 14-year-old daughter. I'm like, ugh. I mean, it's great, but it's hard. And it's like emotional, and it's like, do I really need that shit in my life?
It's intense.
So then I would like watch Gemstones and be like, even though there's like fucking guys getting smoked and blown up and torched, first of all, if you light Chad Mountain on fire, I'm fucking all for it. Like fucking that was the best. Yeah. But
shout out to Chad.
Any show that sets Chad Mountain on fire, I'm a fan. But like just being able to laugh and just like watch them just masters of their craft. It just makes you end the day where you're not going like, fuck, what's wrong with the world? Yeah. And so like I like that. And I also just love like what Danny and those guys do is just so great. I mean, that whole tone is so hard to pull off, and you have to be so committed. It's like Bo Burnham too, right? Like that Inside shook me last summer. And it's like when you see that kind of thing that just breaks the mold in such a way, it gets you excited about comedy. Everything doesn't have to be the same. And so when you see guys doing like that kind of stuff, it's just so, it's just really, really cool.
Oh yeah.
Do you find comedy to be like more of a risky play than a drama when you're going into it? Or do you think you have the confidence if you have the right people and you're going in with the right attitude?
I think comedy, I mean, a lot of people will say comedy's harder than drama because look, in drama, like, first of all, there's so many talented people working in drama. And so somebody who's a really, like Paul Thomas Anderson's like just such a great storyteller. I did Punch Drunk Love with them. And you just see like guys that work like that, like you just Quentin, there's just certain guys like you just go, fuck, it's so good and deep and emotional and great. And the same thing with comedy. So if you got guys like Danny McBride or Sandler or, that just know their craft so well, know their audience, commit to it, it feels effortless. It's like Tiger Woods' golf swing. You go, oh, I could do that. And then your ball goes like skating off to the side. And you're like, how the fuck did he do that? He didn't even swing that hard. And you're like trying to kill it. The effortlessness is what's hard. And so when you're watching something and you go, oh, I'm feeling emotion on it. That's a sad moment. Oh, he just cut that dude's heads off. That was hardcore. But in a comedy, you go, I think that's funny. And then you in with 500 people and not one laughs. You go, okay, I think it was just me. So comedy is hard because it's just so subjective. Like some people love guys getting kicked in the nuts, and some people love really complicated, interesting, long, Larry David kind of jokes. Yeah. And so, and sometimes those don't ever connect or never cross. And so if you make one or the other and you have the wrong audience, you'd be like, ooh, this is brutal.
Yeah.
So comedy's so different across the board, and it's geographical. Like comedy in Israel doesn't play the same as it does in Canada, which in Morocco, wherever. So it's such an interesting thing. So it's endlessly fascinating to me. And I love to just find different comic voices to work with and help them get their vision across, because I'm making their movie. I'm not making my movie. And so I love working with first-time directors and younger comics because it's fun to see them blossom and find their voice.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Has there been any projects that you enjoyed more than others, or
sure?
There's
some that I've not enjoyed making.
Yeah.
I mean, look, they're all hard. Like I'm sure even on Gemstones when you're having so much fun, it's fucking hot and it's long and it's like you're waiting and you're going, what the hell? And then you're in COVID. I mean, there's so much shit going on. And the other thing is it's like building a house of cards, right? More shit can go wrong than can go right. Like, and it's not like you have to do so much right to build a house of cards, and you can fuck up once or a Lego and dominoes and the whole goddamn thing comes crashing down. So there's so much working against you when you're making a movie because you have 400 people all kind of moving in the same direction that it's amazing anything is good. And so when stuff is great, it's always like, so I applaud anybody who can make anything great because I know how hard it is. And I've gone into, I go into I made movies that have been historically lauded for, not being great. And I've made movies that have been great. And it's not like I went, this one's going to suck, but I'm just going to grind through it because I know it's going to suck. You go in with the same enthusiasm. And there's no rule, because like I've had movies that have had all of the pieces. And I'm like, that one, all the pieces are perfectly in place and it eats it. It's just not good. Dang. And then I've had some things that I'm like, we're going to take a flyer on this one. And it turns out great. It's such an alchemy. It's bizarre. And so there's no formula to it. But that's why I'm always astounded when there's guys like, I keep saying Paul Thomas Anderson, but like James Gunn, for example, that motherfucker just is on fire right now. Like he's just firing on all cylinders. He's just killing it. It seems like Tiger's golf swing. It seems like effortless. So when there's guys like that just consistently are knocking it out of the park and are just in that rhythm, you just mad respect for those guys because it's really hard.
I thought the Suicide Squad sequel was like one of the most unique action films I've ever seen, maybe.
Did you see Peacemaker?
Yeah, I watched all of Peacemaker.
Great.
Yeah.
It's great. And, and I love John Cena. I've done a couple things with him. And
he was great in I Love Vacation Friends.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
But like, you see somebody that just... No, James Gunn wrote every one of those episodes, and every one of them was fucking good. Yeah. And so you go, wow, this guy, he's just on it right now. And you just, it's just a joy to watch when someone's just. And then you see guys like that have had success their whole life that are, struggling and it's not connecting anymore. And you go, yeah, well, it's hard. It's like just because you did it before doesn't mean you can do it again. So each time out is a new struggle and a new thing you have to mount.
And I like the golf swing analogy too, because, you could be at the top of the game and then, you get like a small injury and you have to completely redo your swing dynamic.
Yeah.
And you're like a different player, right? So it's.
Yeah. And also I always, there's a thing on set I always say, which is like, if you've ever seen anybody throw out the first pitch, that's not a pitcher. Oh, and you just like watch all those. 99.9% are just awful because they're just totally focused on not fucking up, that you're going to fuck up. And so when you see somebody like a pitcher just in that zone, just throwing the ball, they're not even thinking about throwing strikes. They're just throwing heat. I'm going to try to throw it, That's what you want to do when you're making a movie, is just be in that zone. As opposed to clutched up and trying to hit the target. Then you're being your true self. You're not letting that creative energy flow. You're just tight. And, it's like fucking Rams up until the Super Bowl played not to lose so many times in the second half that they almost lost or did lose. And so when you saw you would just get frustrated because you go you're not playing to win. Whereas Tom Brady plays to fucking win every time. He doesn't care how much he's down or up. He's just playing to win. And so it's the same thing with making a movie or being an actor or writing. If you're tight and you're playing not to lose, it's very hard to get any sort of good creative mojo going.
Right.
Absolutely.
It's like doing a podcast. If you're sitting there all nervous, twiddling your thumbs, it's going to be a bad product.
I can see you guys are playing to win right now.
We're rocking and rolling.
Yeah, man. I'm kind of like for Will too, we did our first film, The Resort, which, did well and it's still doing well now.
Profitable.
Yeah, which is a lot, which makes it more. And then sitting with someone, sitting with you, who's had such an awesome career. It's like, do you have any tips or pointers for us to keep going? Because we're I feel like that's just fuel under the fire now. You
just said the two words that everybody just needs to hear is just keep going.
Yeah.
The barriers to entry are so low now. There is no excuse for people not to make stuff. So if you've ever done any research on Robert Rodriguez, when he made El Mariachi, the first movie, he literally went, okay, what do I have? Oh, I got a truck, I got a bus, I got a town, I got a guitar case, he went, okay. And he wrote, and he goes, who do I have? I got my sister, I got this guy, he could be the actor, I'll be the director, and he wrote the movie based on props.
Right.
And he made a great movie based on, and sometimes limitations can make shit better. It's not like if you go, well, I'm going to give you $100 million. You're like, cool, then it's going to be great. Because a lot of $100 million that suck, movies that suck. And there's great movies that have cost $1 million, hundreds of them. So sometimes limitations can be your friend. And so when you told me you were doing that movie, I'm like, well, it makes perfect sense. You had it.
Yeah.
Go do it. That thing doesn't exist anymore. It's gone.
Exactly.
And so you took advantage of a moment and you guys went out and fucking did it. And so that's it. Keep going and go do it. Because with the iPhone now, with the cinematic lens and the stuff on your laptop, you can edit. There's no excuse. Literally, if Robert Rodriguez had this one back in his day, I don't know that the movie would have been better, but it would have been a hell of a lot easier for him than buying scraps and grinding and trying to find, things and, making it on his own and not being able to watch dailies because he had no playback. So there's no excuse for people not to try. And then it's all about talent and hard work.
That's that's awesome. Yeah.
And I would say also, sometimes failure is a good motivator too. Like if your first movie didn't work, you go, okay, well, we tried. Now let's go out and try to do another one. And we know what we're not going to do this time because we did that last time. We're going to try this. So it's not like, I remember right after Con Air came out as a movie, one of my first movies I worked on, and the writer, after it succeeded, goes, I almost wish the movie would have failed for your career.
Wow.
Because I think it might have taught you more. And I was like, fuck you. But he's maybe not wrong. It's like youth also is good because you just don't know. And sometimes not knowing is the best thing. And so also when The Waterboy came out, my boss goes, this isn't going to happen again for a while. And again, in my mind, I'm like, settle down, guy. I'm going to make lots of big, huge hits. And then it doesn't happen for a while, and you're like, oh, you were right. My youthful ego was probably writing checks that my body can't cash. So, I think that, try to be as stoic as possible. Try to take failure or success with the same, stoic attitude of like, okay, moving on. Because the alternative is you're just going to get scared off, or you're going to get, the other thing you don't want to do is be like, well, now I know everything. I'm going to just do the same thing over and over again. And the next time you do it, people are like, you got away with it the first time.
Yeah. Right.
You got to keep evolving no matter what.
Yeah. I'm a huge fan of always being a student, no matter what you're doing, no matter who you are. And that's pretty much the mantra I made the last year, because I went from being like the most out of shape I've ever been in my life to booking Righteous and Euphoria. And I'm like, I gotta get into shape now.
Right.
Fuck. But I just kept telling myself, there's always a way. No matter what it is, there's always a way. There's always a way. And then with failure too, it's an opportunity to do better, to show up better, to learn from that, and like you said, don't do it again, and just keep going, man.
And it never gets easier.
Yeah.
Everyone, I think anybody would tell you, if they're the biggest successes at anything, it never gets easier. Every time out, you're like, oh God, here we go. It's not like you're given a pass. And so nobody's given a pass. It's not like you can be like, well, you made a lot of hit movies. We're going to love this one, even if it sucks. They're like, fuck you, it sucks. So you got to always be evolving, because people's tastes evolve too.
Absolutely. And generational too.
Yeah. Well, like when you go back and look at all those Alfred Hitchcock movies, it's totally different.
Oh, sure.
Style of filmmaking. First of all, the cameras weighed 9,000 pounds and they couldn't move, and they didn't have a ton of cuts. So you just sort of had to make things really long, and you had to hold their interest with dialogue, a lot of two shots, slow pushes in. Nobody does that anymore. It's bang, 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 bang.
Yeah, you compare like Psycho to Vertigo. Vertigo's in, they go to the Spanish missions, the Golden Gate Bridge, Fort Point, all these beautiful San Francisco monuments, and then Psycho is essentially at one house in the country.
Yeah, and he holds your interest the same way.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, so but people's tastes evolve. I remember when Michael Bay did Bad Boys, I can't tell you how many filmmakers came in and was like, I can't stand that fast cutty, I can't watch it. But MTV was teaching kids, bang, 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 cut. Right. And so now it's kind of swung back the other way, where there's much, people are taking their time, and especially with all this television, that like, you look at something like Euphoria, for example, just the way it's shot, it's very deliberate. It's not a lot of fast cuts. It stays on long shots, it stays on people's faces for a long time. So there's this, the filmmaking just has to evolve, and you have to evolve with it. And if you're really great, create something new.
Love hearing that.
Things that aren't new, like Mortal Kombat, for example. The IP's been around for a long time, right?
Yeah.
How was that?
Well, that was interesting because, like when I was first given the script, it was there wasn't even a thought. They were like, "Hey, we're thinking of doing this. Here's this script," and Kevin Tantron, who's a great guy. And he had created this YouTube series where he kind of reimagined in this dark way, like a more realistic version of Mortal Kombat. And it was interesting because it kind of ripped the Band-Aid off of like, it doesn't have to be like this super theatrical, campy thing. He grounded it. And that's gave us the idea of like, okay, well, what could we do with this? Now, a movie hadn't been made in so long that it was hard to know what to do. So what do the fans really want? Because even now, believe me, I'm on Twitter with them and they can't agree on anything. If I, there's so many fans that if I went, we're going to do this, half of them would be like, yay, and half of them would be like, no, fuck you, if you do that, I'm gonna kill you, and that's the worst. And then they argue amongst each other. Like somebody would be like, this actor needs to play Johnny Cage, and then like, yeah, that's the greatest idea ever, and then fuck that, no, that guy sucks. No. So there's no way to make, and it's the same, there's no way to make everybody happy. So we didn't know. And so we're like, okay, we don't know what the fans want. We need to make a good movie. But what if you've never played Mortal Kombat, which is a real possibility? Like, are you going to know what the hell's happening if all of a sudden you jump in and you're like, here's all these characters just beating the shit out of each other? Or do you need like somebody to kind of explain it to you? So we created this new character and, just be like a narrator, just draw you in. Yeah.
Be the audience member.
The audience were like, fuck you. Why did you do that? And we're like, well, because we wanted to make sure people could get to know the thing. And like, you're an idiot. That's the worst idea ever. And then some people are like, no, it's cool. We have a new character and blah, blah, blah. And so now, once the movie came out and it was released, we now know what we didn't know. So it's like, okay, I now know what the fans want for the most part. There's something, they're always going to disagree on the specifics. But like, it wasn't like Marvel or DC where you have so many comic books and so much lore and so... You just know where you're going. It's a video game for the most part. So now we know, and we're going to try to do better.
Nice.
I mean, that's what I was going to follow up with too, but you explained it beautifully, was just the communication with the fans and with, social media and YouTube and all this stuff. It's interesting to hear that perspective because it's very believable that you can't really get a Twitter mob or multiple Twitter mobs to agree on one thing.
No.
So that's very.
But I mean, there's certain things that are just like obvious now that we didn't know were going to be so obvious, and so again, it's like what we talked about. You learn. That's why stand-up comedy was so appealing to me. Was it's so immediate.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if you've ever been to bad stand-up comedy, you're like, whoo. And you instantly know.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
and then you can learn and you can adjust and you can go on. And then there's the great ones like, Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle and the great, Tom Segura and Bert and Bill Burr. They'll go out and try to bomb. They're like, okay, well, how far can I push this? How far can I take it before I lose them? How do I get them back? And just that, the 10,000 hours, the Malcolm Gladwell thing.
Yep.
So, and so that's what we did with Mortal Kombat. Like we went, okay, these things we fucked up on and we got to fix it. And these things we did right. And we got to keep going down that road. And we, I believe hopefully we did more right than not. And then the casting I thought was really good. And I thought that the martial arts were amazing and the acting was great. And the scope of it was great. And so the stuff that didn't work, we're not going to do. Like you're not going to be stupid enough to go, let's try it again. Maybe you guys just didn't get what we were trying to do. So we're going to try to make sure that we do the right thing. And again, we're not going to please everybody. It's impossible.
Right.
But we're going to take all the stuff that we learned, and we hired a really great writer, Jeremy Slater, and we're taking it all into consideration. We're like, okay, yeah, we got to have Johnny Cage in the movie. We get it. He's going to be in the movie.
Yeah.
Trust me. I promise. And so, okay, we learned that was a fuck up. All right, so we'll fix it. And so the fact that Warner Bros. Is giving us a chance to do it again because it was successful enough is great because I want to make this a franchise that lasts a long time and I want to make it better every time out. And,
awesome.
And the only way to do it is to release it and to put it out there and to learn.
I mean, I feel like if you're a fan of that franchise, I mean, that has to just be like the best thing you could possibly hear, right? Because it's like what you are taking in fan consideration.
Yeah, well, I mean,
like
I get it. It's like if you love something so much and you've been playing it, everybody has a movie in their head. Right, so if I tell you I'm making the Mortal Kombat movie, instantly in your head you go, oh, thank God, it's going to do this, it's going to have that, and this is going to be the casting, it's going to look this way. And then you watch it and you go, what the fuck? It's not at all what was in my head, right? And so the thing that Marvel has done so well is because it's got this guy at the center of it, the heart of it, that just so knows the heartbeat of that the hardcore fans early on were like, you get a pass now. Go ahead, take it where you need to go, and everybody's gone along with it. Mm-hmm. We didn't earn that right. We came in and we're like, we haven't done. We don't know this franchise that well because it hasn't been done in a long time. There's not a ton of. Yes, there are tons and tons of video games that have been released, but even those go back and forth in the canon, and there's new characters, and then there's like now it's like they have kids, and the kids are having kids. It's like. So it's like so far along that we had to really kind of scale it back and go, how do we begin? And then as we go, yeah, I understand that. I understand that fandom. I understand that you had this movie in your head and you've been waiting for it, and then you're either psyched or disappointed. And if you're disappointed, then hopefully we're going to make it right. And you're going to be like, now they're on the right track. Again, you don't know until you know. And now that we've released it and seen all the feedback, we know a lot more. Are we going to hit it 100% or everybody's like, that's exactly what it should be? It never happens.
Right.
Even this last Batman, which everybody seems to be loving, I haven't seen it yet, but you can tell like some people are like, meh. And maybe that's just because they want to be contrarian, but you're not going to get everybody going, that was perfect. Because other people were like, I like the old Batman better, or that tone or whatever. Yeah. It's just impossible. So we got to try to hit as close to the center of the target as we can.
I love hearing that.
I mean, we were talking about that the other day with like the characters like in Marvel, DC specifically. Like even with Batman, you can do a comic book version, the most like the comic books, and fans will tear it apart, you know, and viewers and stuff like that. It could be vice versa. But I think going in with expectations, there's been so many films where I went in thinking it was going to be terrible. And thinking that, I'm like, oh, that movie was great, you know? Mm-hmm. Or thinking it's amazing, vice versa. And then you sit there and you're like, that wasn't really as good as I built up that story, that narrative in my head, and it changed everything.
Yeah, I mean, that is the problem with IP, right? So you so connect with something and you have it in your head of what it should be, and then it's not that. It's disappointing, and that's human nature, and that everybody has the right to voice their opinion and say what they feel, and I respect everybody's opinion. But like I said, if you go through Twitter and the casting of Johnny Cage is the perfect example. Pick one. I don't care. Any of the guys that have been on Twitter, somebody's going to hate that, and someone's going to love it. And so there's no way that there's a universal, everybody's going to love that.
Well, I mean, you've also seen it the other way. I mean, I'm obviously not going to name any names, but like actors or, you know, filmmakers come out and attack fans on social media. And it's like, you know, how does that help a business? Like they're paying customers, right? It's like,
yeah, but I mean, it's also, again, sometimes it's so personal and emotional on both sides.
Right.
I remember when Ben Affleck was announced as the Batman.
Oh yeah, he got it so bad for some reason.
And now the people who love Zach's version only want that. Yeah. And so like, it's just, again, it's like, it's an ever evolving, and everybody's microphones are so loud. Back in the day, you couldn't hear it. You can only really hear what the critics said. I mean, you maybe kind of could hear it, I guess, if you were on the red carpet and people go, you suck! I guess you could hear it that way. But now if you're on Twitter, everybody has the same volume. Doesn't matter if it's the President of the United States or some dude from Tacoma, Washington. He can get to that person and tell them their opinion. And so if you don't have the ability and you don't know, then it just seems like so much noise that you either ignore it or you go, well, there's no answer.
Yeah. And there are people on social media that their entire purpose for them to be on there is to piss you off, sure, or to make you angry, or to just challenge things, to just get the conversation going. Sure. You know? So it's really navigating that water. I think it just goes back to, you know, as an artist, creating what you want to create and bringing that to life, you know?
Yeah.
Because not everyone can do that, right? So.
Mm-mm. And it's, you know, it's exactly like going back to the comedy thing. Some people think certain person's the funniest person ever, and other people think that person's the dumbest, would never how can you think that's funny? And so like, I'm a huge stand-up comedy consumer, and you just go through all the different versions of stand-up comedy between Chappelle, Rock, Segura, Burr, Joe Dunham, the Seinfeld. They're all so different. Jeff Foxworthy, they're all so different. Yeah. And, it's not like you're seeing the same guys in every one of those audiences, right? Some people just love it. And so everybody's not for everybody. And so when you have a big piece of IP like a video game, which is so easy because when you're playing Mortal Kombat, like I play Cabal, that's who I play. I play Scorpion, that's who I play. Or I play Raiden, and you're like, that's who I am. And you're like, well, okay, but you're anthropomorphizing into this game all of this stuff. And there's lore and all this stuff. Yeah, but and then you just don't do that character justice. I understand the anger and the feeling of like, well, fuck you. But it's like, it's a movie. So it's very hard to do everything. Yeah. And that's why it's so great that Marvel and DC and everybody now are spreading their wings, because you can do different things. You can have different tones. And hopefully eventually Warner Brothers lets us do that. Have you seen any of like the Lord of the Rings stuff happening right now? Mm-mm. Or anything going on with the trailers? Have you seen? Mm-mm. It's kind of the first trailer to have more dislikes than likes. Oh wow, which is pretty crazy. Well, again, that's a hard one too, because you are like a major franchise. Yeah, I mean, there's so much involved in that too, with the rights. What Amazon had to do, or is it Apple? Amazon had to do. They could only use these certain characters. You had to do a prequel, which is hard. It's like Harry Potter too. It's like it's like Harry Potter adjacent. So it's hard. And so the hardcore fans are going to be like, "What the fuck is this?" So yeah, it's hard. Again, these things are hard. And like when you see something that hits so perfectly, like Spider-Man, you go, there's hope for all of us, because they just nailed it. They hit it perfectly all the way through. And so when you see something like that that's done so well, like I think weirdly Peacemaker was better received than Suicide Squad, which is insane. But I think that just because Suicide Squad, I was like so wrapped up in a bunch of other stuff, and Peacemaker was just its own thing, that it just became this lovely thing you could just enjoy and not have to put so much into it of like, is that better than the other one? Who did that? Is this person that? Is this their politics of this and that and this? That it just was like, let's just enjoy this new thing. Like I learned about Peacemaker and Suicide Squad. I knew John was playing it, but then all of a sudden like, oh, wow, this is so cool. And we're going so deep into this cool little group of people. So that's awesome. Yeah. Totally agree.
Yeah. I guess, are there any upcoming projects that, we can look forward to besides obviously Mortal Kombat, but
yeah, we have a movie called Senior Year with Rebel Wilson coming out on Netflix on May 13th. She's awesome. On May 13th, very funny R-rated comedy with her and Mary Holland and Sam Richardson and Zoe Chow and Michael Cimino and Gowrie Rice and Anna Puig and it's just great. It's just a really fun R-rated crazy comedy, female-driven, in the vein of Vacation Friends.
When you do those comedies, do you draw some of the humor from like your own life and your own experiences?
Are you saying that John Cena was playing me in Vacation Friends? Well,
they do go to Cabo, don't they?
Yeah. No. It was every vacation you and I ever spent together. I just borrowed all of our weird shit. Yes, everybody. Of course, you can't. You have to, right? Everybody. Yeah, you have to. You have to go. And also, just making stuff grounded, just being like, could this happen? And even if it's not something directly ever happened to you, you go, how would I react in this situation? So when you're developing the script, you're coming from that point of view.
Right.
So we're doing a sequel to Vacation Friends called Honeymoon Friends. We start shooting that hopefully in September. And then the sequel to Mortal Kombat, we start soonish. Nice. We'll see. And then, and then I have a couple other things. And there's a Lauren Lapkus comedy I'm trying to get going, Netflix.
Is that the Tim Story project?
No, the Tim Story project is London Hughes.
Right.
That's a different one. But yeah, so we just got a bunch of stuff on the rise. It goes back to the producer thing. Like, if I was a 25-year-old single dude I'd be like, oh yeah, I got 5 movies going on. But I'm a 55-year-old hack. And I'm like, yeah, we'll see. I've been doing this so long. We'll see how many. I don't know.
That's
either
amazing.
5 or 1 or 0. Hopefully 5.
That's
great.
Incredible. Keep an ad to the 170. You're going to be at 200 soon.
Is there a number you're trying to hit, or is it
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. I will be the last one I get before I go. Like somebody was talking about retirement funds. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, as producers, we don't last very long. Like when we stop working, we pretty much check out and that's it. So retirement, like when I stop shooting, that'll probably be it. Like a dog, I'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna go in the woods.
Yeah. Just keep going.
Where'd Todd go? I haven't seen him in a while.
The legend of Todd.
But congratulations, guys, on your stuff and this podcast and your movie. Keep going, man. It's good, and it's good that you guys are doing this. It's that's the reason I did my podcast too. Is I just wanted people to be able to access the conversations I was having. Mostly at Will's dad's house, just with cool people and just being able to kind of let people in on those conversations. It's important.
It's awesome, man. Yeah. Well, we definitely appreciate you coming on, man. It was awesome.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Right on.
Yeah. Thank you, Todd.
Peace.
Thanks for tuning in to Studio 22.